Hey, what's up guys, with our True Development. In this video, I'm installing this wine cooler inside this cabinet. Now, normally this is pretty easy. You just plug it into an outlet and you're good to go. But we're retrofitting this cabinet for this wine cooler. So we're gonna need to run electric and we're gonna need to cut this out to make sure this fits nice and neat. And then maybe we'll add a couple of pieces of trim to finish the job. This is the wine cooler that I got. I got this from Wayfair. That's what it looks like. I haven't even opened the whole thing yet. But yeah, it looks like we got the handle there and whatever, just straightforward. Before you order, make sure you measure the opening of your cabinet to make sure this fit in. Now, most openings are gonna be small, so we're gonna have to take this drawer out, take out this piece here, cut everything out there so this can fit in, and install the electric. Once you take the drawer out and the channels, you want to take this piece out. Now, normally this is glued and screwed in, but I just checked and this one is only glued in. So I'm going to use my oscillating tool and cut this right out. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece out as well. This is a shelf that normally, again, will have shelf holders here or pins, but this is inside the cabinet here, so we'll need to cut this out. And here's a tip, guys. Before you go ahead and plan things up in that kitchen, you want to come down into that basement, and in my case it's unfinished, so it's great, and figure out exactly where that cabinet is. For me, it's probably going to be somewhere around here, and I could tell that because I have the supply lines going up to my sink, and that cabinet was where the dishwasher is, right there. And it looks like I have a bunch of electric lines going up there. If I have to guess, some of these are going to the kitchen, so we're going to tap into something here after we shut off the electric and inspect and make sure these are the proper lines. If you're not comfortable with this part of the job, make sure you get an electrician to get that outlet set up for you before you go ahead and retrofit that cabinet. It's nice and flush, and I have my rotary sander. I'm gonna sand this down, and I have some stain that I'm later gonna try to match this as much as possible. I got both these sides cut out, and now this should be able to come out. It's probably glued. Now, I just want to point out something. Measure the depth of your cabinet. If you want to do this, like me here, I want to leave some room here, or like a shelf if you like, because that's where I'm going to put my outlet. And I'm going to use a old work 1-gang outlet box, and I'm going to use the shelf here to drill it onto. My depth for this fridge is 21 inches, and that comes to about here. So I'm gonna draw a line across just to make sure I keep this piece intact. Also, keep the trim piece here in case you're gonna need it to bring it up. Here, let's say if you wanna double up on this piece up here, and that's all you're gonna need for trim. But yeah, don't throw it out until the job is done. Next, I'm cutting the bottom of the cabinet here. Once I got this piece out, I drew a line all the way up to where I want to cut. I did have my jigsaw here, but I couldn't get that here. This is too tight, so I'm just gonna continue with my oscillating tool, just go all the way across. All right, now we got the plywood, and looks like a little nice mice nest here. They've left the nest, so we can go ahead and clean that up. After I do that, I want to keep this vinyl toe kick, so I'm just gonna cut with a knife. So I'm just gonna use a utility knife and just cut up here in both spots. I went ahead and scored this and cut it with my knife. Now I'm just gonna use the oscillating tool to come straight down and get this out. Now, before I do the electric, I'm just gonna dry fit the fridge just to make sure we're good. All right, so one thing I didn't account for yet is the drop here. We got 3/4 inch oak flooring. I'm gonna need to shim this area before I put this fridge. Luckily, I think I have some oak flooring laying around, so I'm gonna use that. All right guys, so I dry fit it and it looks great, except we have this opening here. Remember when I said to keep this piece? So I'm going to add this piece of trim right here, and that should give me a better look. I pre-drilled and countersunk my holes. Got this bad boy in, and now I'm going to go ahead and install my outlet here. So again, I'm gonna use my oscillating tool to do that. Use a pencil to mark where your box is gonna be. Next, I'm going to drill down to fish my wire. I'm using a 12 gauge wire. I'm just going to send it down there, and we'll go check it out in the basement, see if we can find it. All right guys, I'm down here in the basement and I could already see my wire. Now we got to figure out what I'm going to hook it up to. Got a bunch of 12 gauge wires here, so I'm assuming that's going to the outlets. So I'm going to do some investigation here, and then we're gonna install a junction box and get some power off of one of those lines. Okay guys, I located the line that I'm gonna tap into down in the basement, and here I just basically wired this outlet real quick. I'll leave a link on the top here if you wanna see exactly how these are wired in more detail. Now that that's in, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, slide the fridge in, and then finish down in the basement. Hey guys, I'm down here in the basement just going over the wiring. So this is the new wire that goes into the outlet. This is my junction box that I have ready. This is my supply wire, and I have the power shut off to this wire here. So what we are going to do is basically cut this here. This will be the supply that's gonna go again to here and to here. So that is gonna go into the junction box, and we're going to feed off of it 2 lines going, one goes here and one goes to the new outlet. Quickly to mention, you will need those clamps to hold the wire in place. Going over what I have so far, that's the original supply wire coming in. I cut that. I'm using it to connect into my new wire that's going to the outlet. And I have these 3 wires that are going to connect back to the wire that's going to the original feed. And again, simple wiring, neutral to neutral, black to black, and then ground to ground. Push everything back in the box, cover it, and you should be good to go. Final touches. So we just want to make sure our wiring is correct. Put the final touches in. Plug the fridge. There you go. This fridge comes set from the factory at 43 degrees, and now it's showing the internal temperature at 71. So it has, it needs some time to cool down, but in a couple hours you should be able to stock it up. That's it guys. You can knock this out in a half a day if you have the right tools. If this video was helpful to you in any way, please give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. See you guys in the next one.